YouTube, welcome back to another video from Wtf Rc Cars. So this time we're looking at the G11P and we're going to be looking into brake mix. So if we go into here, we've got brake mix 1, brake mix 2. The options we've got is on off. We've also got a option to choose the output channel. We've got the rate in which it's mixing it with the actual brake, and then we've got ABS on and off. So we can turn this on off, and then we can set this to whatever output channel we want. We can turn this up and down. And we can also turn the ABS function on and off and configure the ABS function for the actual brake that we're using. So if we turn this on, let's have a look what it does. So we turn the brake mixers on. We'll set this to channel 4. And then if we hop out to his main screen, we can see that when we pull throttle, we just get normal throttle. When we brake, we get in braking on our channel 2, plus it's copied to channel 3 and channel 4. Now to configure this and make it more useful, we can go to assignments, we can go down to his K buttons. If we scroll all the way down, we can see we've got brake mix 1 and 2, and then ABS for them as well. So we can set K1 to brake mix 1. If we set K2 to brake mix 2, and we come down to K3 for brake mix 1 ABS, K4, brake mix 2 ABS. Then if we jump out, go back to his mix screen, we can see what this is doing. So as K1, we'll turn it on and off. And then we can turn our ABS function on and off from using K3. And then if we go into brake mix 2, we can turn this on and off from K2, and we can turn the ABS on and off from K4, sorry. So if we pop back out and have a look in assignment, if we go to a switch, we'll have the same options. So we've got as brake mix 1, 2, ABS 1 and 2. And then if we go into our trims, and we come down, have a look, see if we've got anything in here. So we've got brake dual rate, which we can adjust. So if we set that to TR2, and then we go down to as next one, and set as rate on that. And if we come back into his mixers, we can see that we can alter his rate. So if we come onto his main screen and throttle, we can also turn our mixers on and off. We can turn our ABS on and off for both brakes independently. But then we can also alter our brake bias. So there's a few scenarios where you might want to use this. If you've got an electric RC and you've got hydraulic brakes, you can choose to not use the brake on the ESC and have front and rear brakes assigned, so you can directly control them independently. If you're running a petrol engine 5th scale, again with hydraulic brakes, you can have no braking on the actual axle and you can have front and rear hydraulic brakes. If you've just got front brakes, you can just assign channel 3, and you could have your normal braking servo braking with your rear brakes, and then you could have controllable bias on your front brake. So if you just wanted to use one extra servo for front braking, you could. If you've got an RC where you want a wing that deploys when you brake, so you could have the wing running off it. If you're running a separate brake on the actual drive shafts, you could have your ESC braking and the separate brake, and then you could have a wing that pops up and operates when you brake, and you can have that wing going at variable different amounts compared to what your actual brake's doing. So yeah, multiple uses for this. You can turn ABS on and off independent. You've also got full configuration of the ABS braking, but I've covered that on the ABS setup, where you can assign various bits of the ABS to certain dials. But yeah, it's nice to see quite an in-depth function, and I'm glad they've added 2 brake mixers. So if you've got 2 hydraulic brakes, one for front, one for rear, you can now control the bias and everything on a full braking setup without actually having to go in and mess around and try and create your own mixers. We've got some nice predefined mixers, and it also means you've got pre-labeled options to say when stuff's on and off. Not really sure why Flysky Cars chose open and close. On off would make more sense to me, but it is what it is. But yeah, really easy to set up, really easy to configure. You can turn it on and off on fly. You can turn your ABS on and off on fly, and you can control your brake bias as you're driving. So really nice. If we'd got channel 3 set as a front brake, maybe on the rear you don't want as much, so you can back that down. Gives you plenty of options and really configurable. You can assign the on-off function to switches or the K-type switches, and you can assign the sort of the adjustment of the brake bias. You can assign that to trims or variable dials. So if you wanted it on this dial, you can move it to that. But yeah, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. And it is quite a useful mix setup to have, and I do like the fact that they've, as I said, they've done them both, and you can have ABS and everything independent on them. It does give you quite a lot of options. Certainly would make this transmitter usable for racing the likes at 5th scales where you've got a more complex setup. Certainly a lot of use on speed runs with the air dam that you can have deploying up back, running off at brakes. So yeah, gives you plenty of options. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. Hopefully you find this useful, entertaining, or a bit of both. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and catch you guys again in the next one.